What in the world is really going on with Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers? At this point, it's been weeks, it's been months, it's been going on 2 years since the Pittsburgh Steelers have been waiting for an answer from Aaron Rodgers. Of course, we got that answer in 2025. Art Rooney, Omar Khan, the Steelers brass, Mike Tomlin were huge driving forces, driving factors in Aaron Rodgers' decision to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now, here we are a year later in what was supposed to be completely different, in what was supposed to be an offseason where Aaron Rodgers first made his decision 30 days after the season ended, and then before free agency, and then before the NFL draft. And yet, OTAs start in a week, and the Pittsburgh Steelers still await an answer from Aaron Rodgers. And there's been a lot of hearsay, there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of conjecture on what's going on in Pittsburgh, on why he hasn't signed, on where he's been, on what he's doing. And today, we're going to look at the weekend that just passed in Pittsburgh. We're going to analyze everything that was talked about, everything that was supposed to happen, everything that did not happen, and what we found out on Monday to try and give you guys the best look at what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers going forward. I'm Rob Gregson of A to Z Sports Pittsburgh. If you enjoy this type of content, if you want to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and this saga for the entirety of the offseason leading into what will be a huge 2026 season in Pittsburgh, please be sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe, and comment, as we will be here all offseason. So we should just pretend as if Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers had nothing ironed out, nothing worked upon, as if they didn't even know each other prior to this past weekend. Because all of those times that Art Rooney said that he expected Rodgers to sign and he didn't, clearly he didn't know what he was talking about. But there was a report that surfaced in the latter portions of last week that Aaron Rodgers was supposed to not only be in Pittsburgh, but be in Pittsburgh with the intention to sign. Well, Friday came, Saturday came, Mother's Day came. The Pittsburgh Steelers had their rookie minicamp, and there was zero signs of Aaron Rodgers. In fact, while it was reported on Monday that Aaron Rodgers was in Pittsburgh, but he didn't show up to the facility, and Jerry Dulac said that his agent was talking to the Steelers, but Rodgers did not report to the facility. The truth is, Adam Schefter came out on Pat McAfee's show and said that the Pittsburgh Steelers had zero contact with Aaron Rodgers. Nothing has really changed despite these new reports. Everything is still in the same boat when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. So to me, this all means that whatever smoke screens are out there, whether that's people inside the building trying to drum stuff up or people in Aaron Rodgers' camp, nobody really knows. And that's the whole purpose of this, is that all of these updates are non-updates. All of these things that we say, oh, he's in Pittsburgh this week, oh, he's going to sign, until he does, none of it, I truly mean, none of it matters. And the next big date to watch, because that's all this is watching the dates, watching the days on the calendar go by, is of course going to be May 18th. We say, well, what is May 18th? Why does anybody care about May 18th? That is when the Pittsburgh Steelers begin OTAs. If you don't know what OTAs are, they're just organized team activities. They're honestly not a big deal at all. Aaron Rodgers in the past with the Green Bay Packers, with the New York Jets, last year obviously with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he didn't attend these OTAs because he doesn't see a lot of reason in them, especially if he has familiarity with the team like he does with the Steelers now. They're just essentially glorified walkthroughs. There's not a lot of live reps. There's no contact. It's very easy. It's just to install the offense, install the defense, build some camaraderie, get the team together before they break for summer break, and then, of course, come back, start training camp, and the slog that is the 2026 NFL season. But for Aaron Rodgers, he really doesn't want to commit to that. And it goes back to the fact that this has been him for the last 4, 5, 6 years of his career. And I don't really care what Art Rooney has said in all the communications and these different things, because Mike McCarthy has said time and time again that the Pittsburgh Steelers, himself, and Aaron Rodgers have remained in constant contact, that they consistently have dialogue. Mike McCarthy said that he and Aaron Rodgers talk more than him and his wife at times. So that tells me that the Pittsburgh Steelers, while they don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, they don't feel like they are being led astray or like they are in a bad spot. And honestly, if they were, they probably would have drafted a quarterback a lot sooner than the third round. And we can talk about Drew Aller and Mike McCarthy wanting to resurrect the quarterback position in Pittsburgh and all these different things. But if you really were worried about Aaron Rodgers not being there and you really wanted to win games, you're probably making a play in the first round to move up and get Ty Simpson, especially now that we know how much the Rams liked him. Or you're probably moving up in the second round to get a different quarterback. But they stuck with Drew Aller, who they know needs time to develop, needs time on task. He is light years away from starting in the NFL. So all of this, whether it's Mike McCarthy saying that he's in contact with Aaron Rodgers, whether it's Mike McCarthy saying that he's excited to work with all three quarterbacks on the Steelers roster, but that he would love a fourth, hinting at Aaron Rodgers, or whether it's the fact that the two of them worked together for over a decade in Green Bay, the truth is Mike McCarthy feels really confident about Aaron Rodgers coming back. And if Mike McCarthy wasn't the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would have said a long time ago, forget about Rodgers. He was there only because of Mike Tomlin. And Steelers owner Art Rooney said as much in his press conference when he announced that Mike Tomlin had officially stepped down. He basically told us that, hey, Aaron was only here because Coach Tom was here. Mike Tomlin is no longer here, so you can assume that Aaron Rodgers will no longer be here. Well, then insert that whole coaching search, that process, which is a whole nother story that we've talked about ad nauseum, and Mike McCarthy comes in. And if there's one coach who Aaron Rodgers is going to relate to, who he's going to come back and play for one more season right off into the sunset with, it's, of course, going to be the guy who he won a Super Bowl with, who developed him into one of the best quarterbacks we have ever seen in the history of the National Football League. And I know that there's talks about how things ended, but as Art Rooney said when he hired Mike McCarthy, he believes that he can fix the quarterback position. He believes that Mike McCarthy knows what it takes to win in the NFL at that position better than just about anyone else. Well, if you're Art Rooney, if you're Mike McCarthy, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you know that your best chance at winning a Super Bowl in 2026 is running it back. Because as much as you might like Will Howard, as bullish as they might be on Drew Aller, the truth is Aaron Rodgers still gives them the best chance of winning a Super Bowl in 2026. And that's why Art Rooney has come out, whether it was prior to free agency or before the NFL draft or then after the NFL draft, and said time and time again that the team will wait for Aaron Rodgers, that the team is excited about the possibility of having Aaron Rodgers back, that the coaching staff, the players, the front office all want to work with Aaron Rodgers yet again. Because if you're Art Rooney, you know that the one goal, the one standard in Pittsburgh is winning championships. And honestly, since 2008, that just simply has not happened. So for Art Rooney, for Mike McCarthy, for Aaron Rodgers, it's obviously a long time coming. It has been a super long saga. All this past weekend did was just drag it out, make it worse, because you had reports that thought he was going to sign. Turns out he didn't sign. Turns out he may have not even been there. Some people were saying that he was there, but he was simply playing golf while his agent was doing all the work. We don't really know. And that's the bottom line about all of this. And I know that a lot of the fan base is tired of it. They're sick of it. It's nauseating at this point to hear the newest and the latest about Aaron Rodgers. But until he's a Pittsburgh Steeler for the 2026 season, that's going to be the main storyline. Because when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you don't know who your starting quarterback is going to be, that's going to drive a lot of headlines. But you guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think Aaron Rodgers will ultimately decide? And just be honest, are you about sick and tired of this story? Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. What else do you want to see on the channel? What have you enjoyed seeing on the channel? What are you most looking forward to before the 2026 season begins? Please be sure to give us some feedback. I'm Rob Gregson of AG Sports Pittsburgh, and we will catch you next time.